What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing great. I missed you guys as usual. First and foremost, I want to thank all you guys for your subscriptions, your great comments, everything, guys. I just really love the support. I'm feeling the energy, so thank you guys wholeheartedly. You guys are the best. This video, just want to really make it short. Don't want to get into too much. The last topic that I've made on my last videos, kind of just want to capitalize off of that a little bit in regards to what I look for in when I purchase a TV and what's important to me. What are the things that really drive my decision making when purchasing a TV? That's important to me. I know that's important to you guys, and I know we have a lot of different perspective. The one subject that I'm going to speak about in this video is just your menu settings experience. And I want to get a little bit more into depth about that particular topic. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Samsung S95C. I'm going to go not in any particular order, but I will explain which TV I think is, excuse me, my favorite, which TV is not my favorite when it comes to specifically the menu experience or the menu settings experience. So on the S95C, as you guys know, uses the Tizen operating system. And number one, the one thing, and I'm going to go ahead and, navigate through the settings just so you can at least see from my perspective, what I do like, what I don't like, and things like that. But anyways, for the S95C Tizen operating system, they have a little bit less of a menu system that lets you really operate through the TV more in detail. So what I like to say is that if you're looking for a TV that's more plug and play, where you don't want to spend the time and navigate through the system and learn your TV, customize your settings, you're probably going to most likely go with the S95C. To me, although it is considered a premium TV, and it is a premium TV, picture quality is great, color purity is great, QD OLED technology is pretty much the latest and greatest out there. The biggest issue for me is that you cannot really navigate through the settings as much as you would wish to, or compare to either the G3 or the A95L. So I'm going to just kind of show you some samples here. You hit the menu button and then you come up with this menu bar here, where you can go ahead and horizontally navigate through your settings. Now, the cool part about this is you can hold the center button down and edit your settings and move them around to your liking. So, of course, I'm going to put all settings in the beginning here, which out the box is all the way at the end, which is kind of confusing to me because the S95B, I believe, was already by default in the very beginning, or the first icon that you can tap onto. But I'm going to go ahead and go to all settings, and then as you can see, your main menu pulls up, and it pulls up nice and clean. It pulls up quick and it's nice and snappy, and I like that. But when you go to picture settings, you can go ahead and obviously change your picture modes and things like that, which is pretty basic. When you get to expert settings, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of scroll through here, you're going to see that the settings are pretty basic. What I don't like is that you can't change your black levels like you can with the A95L or with the LG G3. You can certainly go ahead and change your gamma, but I just feel like the points should be a little bit more detailed. The shadow detail you can change right here, which I feel like I just wish there was just more options. Color space, what I do What I do not appreciate about Samsung is it locks you in to a certain color space when you're in SDR. So basically, you can't manipulate the settings to get out of SDR color space. And what I mean by that is once it receives a signal that's SDR, there's no way you can go into uh, custom. It'll automatically put it into BT709. So right now you're not seeing that, but that's what it does. So that's another thing that kind of irks me, is because you can go ahead and do that with the other TVs, but you can't with the S95C. And that's a little bothersome for me. But yeah, so that's one of the things that really bother me the most. The other thing that kind of gets to me with the S95C is that, let's say you're having an issue trying to figure out why a certain setting isn't working. Well, the problem is that it doesn't help you navigate through the menu to figure out what you have to do. So sometimes there'll be a certain setting that's either enabled or disabled to not let you use the other setting that you're trying to enable, and it doesn't elaborate, or it doesn't tell you in detail of where to go to do that. A lot of times when you're using the G3 or when you're using the A95L, it gives you a better idea of what you have to do when you're navigating through the system. So not a fan of that. When you go to connection and you go, let's say, to external device manager, you go to input signal, you have to make sure to get its full capabilities to have all these HDMI 1, 2, 3, and 4 all lit up in blue. Those are one of those things you have to kind of figure out for yourself. It doesn't really either automatically do that out the box when it receives a 4K signal like the other TVs. But it's kind of like, you know, a little annoying. One of the things that's also annoying with the A95L to me is how you have to format it with the external device manager too. I just wish it was automatic, but you got to do what you got to do. So that's another thing that kind of bothers me with this system here. And I know I'm kind of nitpicking, but again, these are just things that bother me. Now, game mode settings, I do like a lot. I got to give it to the S95C. Game mode settings are awesome in this TV. That's probably why it's so highly recommended. It's a QD OLED with really good game settings and a really good gaming menu system as well. HDR is terrific with the S90C, the S95C. There's really no complaints besides if you get the S95C, just be aware of the dropouts. They can be just brutally annoying. I've experienced it. I know a lot of other YouTubers experienced it, and a lot of people are talking about it in the comments with their own experience too. But just be aware of that. Other than that, when the S95C is working the way it's supposed to, and there's no dropouts, it's really hard to not love this TV when you're gaming or any other content when you're watching or anything like that. But overall, I just think that the menu system is a little bit more lackluster with the S95C. It's not as detailed. You can't fine tune as much as you can with the A95L and the G3. It is, to me, a little bit more of a plug and play system. The processing, I think, is not as good as the A95L or the G3 as well. And it does show that a lot of ways. So that's just, again, one of those things that, to me, I just notice when I am using the TV and going through the settings. Now, another thing that's really not a menu system issue, but a connectivity issue with the S95C is, let's say you get a signal drop an HDMI signal drop or a signal drop from your console to the TV, any issues that just completely disconnect your connection with external devices in the S95C. There's times where you have to reset the entire TV. You have to reconnect your HDMI external device back into whatever port you prefer, 1, 2, 3, or 4 HDMI port, and go through the entire process again of starting all over, meaning that you have to go through your settings, make sure that your external device is back on to this original setting that I was showing you here with external device settings. And to get, 4K display, you have to make sure that all your ports, or I mean, not necessarily all your ports, but whatever port your HDMI device is connected to. So you go to Connections, External Device Manager, and make sure that these are back on again, because if you don't do that, excuse me, they disable after that connection is lost. So that's another thing that just aggravates me a lot. So, take it as you want, but I just feel like having to go through the menu system all over again because of a signal drop is just ridiculous. I don't have those issues with the A95L or with the G3. It just doesn't happen. So that's my point. Once you connect, it'll automatically receive and recognize that signal, and you'll be able to go ahead and pursue forward without having to go through those steps on the A95L and the G3. So that's one of those things that just get annoying. So yeah, so that's kind of my experience with the S95C. It's been like that for a while. The Tizen operating system, their Samsung's menu has always been, no matter what generation, just has more these little slight nuances that you have to really learn, and unless you've had Samsung for a while and owned a bunch of their TVs in the past, you kind of pick up on these things and just know they're going to happen before you even get to TV. So I guess you can kind of like look at it as you get used to it, but it just it doesn't ever not get annoying. It's like one of those things where it's like, for years they've had the same type of system or the same nuances. Why don't they ever just fix them? Why don't they ever address these issues? It's almost like they just don't care. So that's the kind of feeling that I get when I use a Samsung TV, whether it's a QLED, Neo QLED, QD OLED. It doesn't matter. It's just the same type of experience that you get, is how I see it. So anyways, moving on to the A95L. The cool part is that unlike the S95C, it does give you a dedicated HDMI button on the remote, as you can see. You can also hit the settings button and it'll bring you a nice display here, nice clean display here on the top right of the menu bar, where you can highlight it and go to settings. And then there you go. You have your TV settings right here. So this is the Google menu, or I'm sorry, Android menu. And anyways, you have right here on display and sound. Once you click on that, it prompts you to this menu right here. And then you can go to picture and sound. And as you can see, you have picture Let's just click on picture. And as you can see, it's very detailed. So you have brightness, color, clarity, and motion, all under one drop-down menu, which is nice and smooth. You have sound and TV speakers. You have adjust only for HDMI 4, which is really nice because you can, I know you can customize your HDMI settings with all 3 TVs to a particular port and save your settings to that particular port, but it's just nice to be able to just have it right there with a touch of a button. And the A95L definitely provides that nice and smoothly along with your game picture settings. I know you can do it on the S95C, but it just seems that it's not as customizable. So you can prioritize your signal information. You can go down, and let's go back up to picture. Look it up. If you keep scrolling down here, let's just go to these other menus. Just go to brightness. And I know that this is all basic stuff, your brightness, your contrast HDR, gamma, HDR tone mapping. But look, you have your black levels right here that you can fine tune, which I love. And it's easy to understand, and it tells you what basically you can do. As you can see, it mainly adjusts the picture's black levels by controlling your signal level. So it's nice that it kind of gives you an explanation, like a detailed explanation, which I really like. It's a full sentence. It lets you know what it does and lets you understand it a lot better. So these are things to me that are really important for whether you have experience, where you don't have experience. It's just nice to be able to have that highlighted for you right there. It's nice and clean, as you can tell. You can go to black equalizer and it tells you what to do. It says brightens dark areas of the image to make it easier to identify people and objects. It's that simple, but it's nice and clean, it's well explained, and it tells you in a way that's easy to understand, which I love. Peak luminance, as you can see, it tells you very clearly. Optimizes contrast, especially in dark scenes, by analyzing the screen's luminance levels in real time and making bright areas brighter. So once again, it tells you nice and clean. Now let's go to color. Color is very detailed. As you can see, you have your color temperature. You have live color. And live color, for people, as you know, live color is something that's more exclusive to the Sony A95L, but it'll tell you exactly what it does. Adjust the vividness of colors by correcting the strength of each color. It's an amazing feature, and I like the way it just clearly and transparently explains what it does. So you got to remember, they didn't have to implement these explanations in the menu, but they chose to give you and provide you a better menu experience. And that's just how I see it. Now, you can go to advanced color adjustment, and as you can see, it'll tell you adjust color settings more precisely for the selected color temperature. Basically lets you know you can customize how you want your specific colors to really pop or look, or maybe you want it less washed or less colorful or saturated. You can adjust those color temperatures, the color temperature. You go to clarity. You click on clarity. You have sharpness, and it tells you exactly what sharpness does. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? I love the way it explains things. You have reality creation. You click on it, and it tells you exactly what reality creation does. So, I don't want to read everything. Because I don't want to bore you guys. But as you can see, it thoroughly explains what it does and even leaves samples in some of the settings to let you know what it looks like when you adjust them. So it's clean, it's professional, it's set up with care, and it just gives you a better experience as an owner of the TV. And these are little things that I really appreciate manufacturers going out their way to do, because it just shows that it's not just a TV. They want you to engage in it the way they want you to. They want you to learn what you purchased and what you spent your hard-earned money on. They want you to have a better ownership experience. And then, of course, you go to video signal, and that'll give you your color space and HDR modes right there, which clearly states what they are. So these are just little things that I noticed with the A95L. The A95L is also really good at when you connect something to it, an external device, especially when it's excuse me, when it's Sony, and it's prioritizes the signal with each other. They automatically connect, and it's literally like plug and play, which is awesome. So I really appreciate that. But you know, they have other approaches too for menus. So let's get out of this. You can also hit the menu button. The tool button. And once you press the tool button, you have this pop-up display as well. It's kind of like a shortcut system, just another way of getting around through the system that's very easy. Just like the Samsung S95C, it'll give you a horizontal display, but it's a lot more detailed. And of course, you can edit and just do a lot of different things and use your TV a lot. I'm not going to get too much into detail, but just want to let you know, navigating through the A95L is very seamless. It's smooth, it's easy to understand, and it's not complicated. It's just nice. And there's no other way to really put it. So that's basically how I feel about the A95L. Now, we're going to go to the G3. And the G3, again, very, very similar to the A95L in a lot of ways. And sometimes I even find it better. But anyways, what we'll do is you can easily hit the menu button on the remote, and it'll pop up right here. Your menu system on the top left, as opposed to the left side of the screen, as opposed to the A95L's right side of the screen, but it's the same concept, and it's just simple. It's smooth, and the nice part about it, you can navigate through the menu system with the remote as a wand, basically. You know, like the magic remote is what they call it, as I'm pretty sure you guys already know. But you can use your remote as a wireless mouse, and that's an experience that I appreciate. Once you use this system and in this manner, you start to just become accustomed to it. It spoils you, and it's kind of one of those things where you're just like, you know, why haven't they invented this before? You know, so but anyways, that's my personal opinion. So we'll go to settings here, and then it's the same, very similar to the A95L, but obviously in its own format. So you go to advanced settings, which is probably the most popular menu settings that you're going to use. And as you can see, you go to brightness, and it clearly tells you what it does. Adjust brightness and contrast of the screen and set additional details accordingly when screen brightness is changed due to energy saving function. Excuse me. Go to general energy saving and change the energy saving step to another entry instead of auto. So that's where LG takes it into a whole other level. It's literally explaining to you how to navigate through your menu system in order to enable a certain setting to make another setting work. So this is why I think the LG menu system is the best. It is the most detailed, explanatory menu system in the market is how I feel, or at least that I'm aware of. And it's just terrific. It doesn't get any better than that right there. So it literally tells you what you have to do to enable or disable a function in a step-by-step manner. I mean, how cool is that? So, it takes the guessing and the figuring out of the question, which saves you time and helps you understand your menu system better, where it's not so complicated. So that's why I feel the LG G3 out of these three TVs has the best menu system, or the best menu system that I've ever even used, period, out of any TV, out of the Hisense that I own, or Hisense models that I've owned. My past Sonys, my past Samsungs, just LG in general just really does make your menu settings, navigation, convenience so much better. You go to color, as you can see, it'll tell you exactly what to do. You can go ahead and go to color depth and it'll tell you adjust the color. It just gives you more detail. Please set detailed options in the game optimizer menu when the picture mode is set to game optimizer at the bottom part with that little star there. See how it just goes even further out its way to explain other details that you're not even asking for yet, because it knows in advance what you're going to need to know before you even get to it. So if you really just take your time and just read through those menus when you first get this TV, it's teaching you as a step, almost like a step-by-step guide. So, I mean, come on, honestly, does it really ever get any better than that? It's pretty amazing. So, fine tune, adjust the color as you like to fine tune the image. This feature is not available while connecting to a PC. So it's nice, it lets you know if it's connected to a PC, this particular menu system will be automatically disabled. I know there's probably ways to work around that, but obviously, that's at your own risk. White balance, it'll tell you. Adjust the color temperature and balance to show the perfect white color as you like. To use this feature, set reduce blue light to off from the menu. So how cool is that? It literally tells you you have to disable a certain setting and able to have white balance enabled and working the way it's supposed to work. Now, let me tell you guys, if you were to choose, or let me ask you guys, if you were to choose, let's say, which TV is going to be the TV that you would want based off of its menu settings experience, and you can only choose one, I would really be curious as to which one you like. I'm not going to go through every single setting or anything like that, but I just wanted to use this as a quick example. I didn't want to be too long in the video, but what do you guys think? So that's really what this video is about. Don't want to make it too long. I want to thank you guys. And please let me know in the comments what you think, which TV you think has the best menu system settings, which TV do you think would be the best for you if you were to choose it based strictly off of the menu settings. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys